Oh, Sheree just can't get a break. You know what I'm saying? Sheree just cannot get a break. So I don't know if you guys have been hiding under a rock, but let me tell you, baby, the way that Lisa Milan from the Real Housewives of Dubai had to get Sheree together real nice and quick. But you know, Sheree wasn't taking it lying down. So let's give you the stilo. First of all, I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with the Real Housewives of Dubai, right? We started recapping that show last season, but I kind of fell off. You know, it's always hard recapping a first season of a show because it's just like, is this show gonna last? You know what I'm saying? And then are people watching the videos because it's such a new show? And have they made names for themselves yet? And I don't know. The jury's still out. I love the ladies. I'm not even gonna front on that. The ladies are definitely A plus top tier ladies. However, I just wasn't so sure about the season. However, they will be back for season two. And this all occurred at BravoCon. So Lisa Milan, who many of you guys may remember from the College Hill days, way back in the day, is now a cast member of that show. And she was at the BravoCon. Oh yes, she was at the BravoCon. So Andy, being his normal shady self, was doing a segment for the Shade Assassins, right? So that would be the ladies who, can throw the best shade from their respective shows, right? And of course, you had Kenya Moore up there, you had Phaedra Parks, Dr. Heavenly, Erica Jane, and we will be talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're going to do like a little mini recap at the end of this once I get done with this tea right here. But who else was up there? I believe it was, Kenya Moore. I felt like I saw Dolores Catania up there, and I was like, that's random. Obviously, Candace and Karen from their respective shows as well, right? Reza, I think, from Shaws of Sunset. And there were a few others like Tamara Judge as well. So now that we have set the stage, so Andy asked the question, who up on the stage is the most likely to have fake designer in their closet? And Lisa, the spotlight landed on Lisa to answer the question. Now, you could tell she didn't really want to answer this question, right? But she had to pick somebody, all right? And honestly, it made sense to me. Who better to pick than Sheree, she Sheree Whitfield? It makes the most sense. If you're gonna be up there and you're gonna have to shade somebody about fake designer, the most likely person is going to be Sheree, given the launch of her She by Sheree brand turned into what the people will call in She by Shein. Now, again, we've talked about this on this channel before. There are lots of, fashion houses and, you know, e-commerce and merch sites out there that use, you know, designs from the Alibaba, from, all types of other places. China is one of the places that oftentimes will be able to provide manufacturing for these types of products for a little bit cheaper than what you may find them in other places. But they are available here in America as well if you just know where to look for it, right? Actually, I'll give you a clue. A site like Pietro will actually help you find and outsource and source products for your merch lines and for your lines if you guys are interested in starting stuff like that, especially if you're into the beauty industry and space like that. They have a lot of great products for that. Just me doing my research, right? So anyway, Lisa, all right, says Sheree. And Sheree gets up and she's like, nah, 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 come on. Nah, 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 nah. If you know what song that is based on my botched up singing, let me know in the chatterization what it is. All right. So anyway, so at that point, Sheree gets up and is like, honey, honey, So, she limping because I don't know if something happened to her foot or whatever. But anyway, so Andy's like, well, Sheree, who made this dress? Okay. So let's take a look at said dress, shall we? Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. All right, let me see if I can pull up Sheree. Uh, Instagram, because I really want to I want to paint the picture for you guys and have. Listen. When I do these videos, we are having fun. This is not to tear nobody down. I read a comment yesterday that was talking about y'all people always on the internet, on the YouTube tearing these people down, And I was talking about a story that came from Us Weekly, and I kept wondering to myself, I wonder if you are giving the people from Us Weekly the same amount of angst that you are trying to give the people on the YouTube. And then I'd be wondering, I wonder why they don't. I wonder why they're not giving the same level of angst to the Us Weekly people as they give into the YouTube people. But I got a theory about that. We'll talk about that on another day. However, .com, we're gonna go to Sheree Instagram right now. Now, this is the dress in question, right? So just take a look at it. This is the Alexander McQueen's, all right? So now that we took a look at the dress, and she said it was $10,000, okay? $10,000? $10,000, Dwight? Okay. Was it $10,000 indeed? So anyway, so she says it's Alexander McQueen, and this was $10,000. And then Lisa is like, now hold up, Andy, hold up. Is that Alexander McQueen or is that Alexander Sheen? I was living. Okay. Listen, this is the type of shade that you want to see on the Housewives shows. It's like, who wearing fake designer? Like this is some lightweight type stuff right here. And it's all in the fun. But Sheree did not see it that way. And maybe rightly so. You know what I'm saying? I can understand how she might feel a certain type of way about it. And she has some things to say. Okay. So in that post that I showed you guys earlier, Sheree then posted this on her Instagram. It says, Sheree, of course you wouldn't know the real from the fake when you can't see straight. So in my mind, I was wondering, now, Sheree, is you trying to say something's going on with the girl eye or something like that? Is that what you're trying to say? Because I don't see nothing wrong. Okay, I don't see nothing wrong. That's just me. All right, just me. Just me. I think Lisa Milan is snap, crackle, pop, baby. But I think Sheree is snap, crackle, pop too. So, I mean, I ain't gonna even hate. You know what I'm saying? But I was just wondering, like, Sheree, what you trying to say here? What you trying to say, babe? Bipes. What you trying to say? Anyway, Sheree then goes on to post receipts and says, obviously, she doesn't know the real from the fake. Next. And so the Alexander McQueen dress, which is so funny here because Sheree posts a screenshot of the dress that is now $3,000. Now, allegedly, Sheree says that she bought this dress 9 months ago and it was supposed to be worn on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And, she responded to people who said, girl, she tried you. I'm confused. Why? Sheree's like, exactly. I don't even know her, which she also says in the statement. The dress here, it says it was $8,850. Maybe she was rounding up, you know what I'm saying, to the 10,000. Or maybe she actually did buy it for 10,000. I don't know. But oh God. That's the way it goes, baby. That's the way it goes. All right, y'all. So let's talk a little bit about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay. So we are on episode 3 of the new season. Season, what is this, 13? And I was like, I wanted to also recap this show, but I also wanted to take it back to a time because I feel like I get good views on, most of the recaps, but shows like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, for me, they tend to be like a little bit on the lower side. So I was like, okay, well, obviously there are people who are interested and I don't want to miss out on those people. So I said, you know what, how I'm going to do these reviews for Beverly Hills moving forward, I think possibly is going to be that we're going to still review the show, obviously, because I love it. It's one of my favorite Bravo shows. But I said also too, I want to watch last night because, and I was like, I'm not going to take any notes. I'm going to watch this show and I'm going to just simply enjoy it for what it is, right? And because I felt like sometimes, recapping the shows, it feels like a job to me. And I want to take it back to the time period where it did not feel as much like a job. So I said, I have to watch the show and not take any notes. And I actually have figured that that helped my enjoyment level tremendously because I wasn't worried about looking down at my notes, remembering what they were saying and thinking really more so about the plot points in general. So let me tell you what happened in last night's episode. And I think this was a good episode to do that with because it wasn't a lot that happened, but it was actually a fun episode to me. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it like an 8. And by 8, I don't mean that it was not as good as maybe a 10, but what I do mean is that it felt simple to me and it harkened back to why I used to watch Beverly Hills back in the day. Fabulous trips, fabulosity, and all of that. We're getting all of that. The ladies are in Las Vegas for Crystal's 40th birthday. And they've taken a private jet there, obviously, as only the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ladies do. And then they're staying at this place called Resort World in Las Vegas. I'm not familiar with Resort World. The last time I went to Vegas, I'm going to let you guys know my hot spot in Vegas where I stayed for my birthday weekend was the Aria. I love that hotel. I love the restaurants in that hotel. The shopping is connected right to the hotel. There's like a little shopping mall or something like that with like all the designer shops that you can think of. It's right there. It's literally a stone's throw. Like you leave out one door and you enter the next door and you are in the shopping area. I love the pool. Because they have several pools at the Aria. I love it. But Resort World, I'm not as familiar with. So I need to do some research on that. So they're staying there and they each have, it looks like they have some type of big, like almost like a villa or something like that. Because, each of the ladies are kind of split into what seems like two two people to a room. So Kyle and Dorit are obviously together. Crystal and I believe Erica are together, as well as Sutton and Garcelle. Now, interestingly enough, on this trip, Kyle and Dorit have not brought Glam with them, but all of the other ladies have. So I believe this is probably Crystal's first time bringing Glam on a trip. But to me, it was her birthday trip. And I felt like if you're going to ever bring Glam and you haven't necessarily been that Glam girl, I can definitely understand why you would want to start bringing Glam if you're going to be hanging out with Glam girls, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if especially if you don't know how to do your own makeup and if you don't know how to do your own makeup for TV, because makeup for regular everyday appearances, makeup for stage, and then makeup for TV are completely different things. The reason I know this is because I worked in news long enough to know to learn how that I did need makeup, okay, and I had to learn how to do my own makeup. And for because I'm a man, it's not like I was having to do all that much. Not to say that if you're a man that you can't do all the stuff if you want to. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for me, all I needed to know was the basics. Concealer, if I needed it, foundation, powder, bam, I'm out the door. You know what I'm saying? Even more so, well, I mean, yeah, once I finished my time in news, it became less of a thing unless I'm going to make a random television appearance like on MSNBC or on Fox 5, then obviously, and even then, a lot of times now it might just be basic powder just to keep down the shine. And if you are out there and you are thinking, ew, well, men are not supposed to wear makeup. I don't know who I listen. There ain't many men I'm gonna be 100% with you. I hate to burst your bubble. There are not many men out there that appear on national television that don't wear makeup. I'm sure there are some, okay? And they might just have the best skin ever, right? But for the lights, for what you're doing, and the lights can be very bright and they can make you sweat. It's pretty much like a lot of times it's required, and you want to just look your best when you're on TV because the last thing you want to do is look distracting, okay? Because you don't have on it. All right. So anyway, I say all that to say I can definitely understand why at this point, the ladies are bringing glam, and I don't have a problem with it, but I think it was interesting because Dorit, who normally travels with glam, is not, and she's kind of like looking at everybody else like, y'all bringing glam. Like, it's very interesting to me for somebody who is used to bringing it all the time, right? So anyway, they get there, and the whole deal is that we're gonna be going to see Magic Mike, right? Erica wants to take Crystal to see Magic Mike. Now they've known this the entire time since they got on the plane to head there. Sutton, and I believe that the key with going to see Magic Mike, if you wanted to get on the stage, you had to be wearing pants. It did not become apparent why you needed to be wearing pants until you got there, and you could see that when they bring you on the stage, they was going to be opening the legs. The guys was going to be opening the legs, opening the ladies' legs, and doing things between the legs. Okay. So Sutton on the plane was like, oh, I brought my pants. I brought my pants, girls. I'm bringing my pants. Even when she gets there, she's talking about her pants. She's wearing a pants. She makes a point to wear these pants. Okay. Now I'm gonna run down the line for you because I need you to understand what's going on with these pantalones, right? Garcelle is wearing a dress. Dorit is wearing a dress. Kyle is wearing a dress to dinner, right? There's some other scenes that go on with, the ladies, wanting to like coach Sutton on how to date or whatever like that, and why she can't get past the first date. But to me, that was neither here nor there. It was fun, but at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't nothing that was moving the storyline. But I got to get to what's actually going, what actually made the episode pop, 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 pop. So the only ones wearing pants are Crystal, Sutton, and Erica. And so clearly Sutton was excited about going up on that stage. Now, I don't know what she thought was going to happen when she got up on that stage, or when anybody got up on that stage, for the reason why you had to wear pants. But by the time she got there, it was a different story. Okay, that excitement dwindled. Now, I don't know if she was drunk. I don't know if she had maybe too much to drink or not enough to drink. But what I can say is when the ladies get there, Crystal and Erica are invited to come up on stage. Now, this is important because Erica, her friend, Mikey's partner, is actually performing, right? So they got the VIP treatment for this night, right? So the ladies are all sitting there. Everybody's having a good time. They call Crystal and Erica up to the stage. And of course, the dudes lay them down and open their legs, spread eagle, and they put their faces right down smack in the middle of the cooch. So with the faces and the cooters, Sutton suddenly is like, oh, I can't. And before she did that, I gotta say this. She said, I wore my pants for nothing. Then it became, I gotta go. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm on the board of the American Ballet Society. I got to go. So she get to running up out of there. Now, here's my thing. My thing is this. Later on, let me not get to that. I'm gonna say this right now. So she makes a scene to Garcelle, okay, and she exits stage left. And so Garcelle is like, now wait a second, hold on, there's a problem now. And Dorit is also trying to figure out, like, hey, what's going on? Kyle is like, what's going on? Had Sutton gotten up and simply said, you know what, in her own mind, and said, you know what, this is making me uncomfortable. Like, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom real quick and I will be right back. That would have been the polite thing to do. If you're gonna talk about yourself being Miss Southern Belle and Miss Manners, all the screaming and all of that won't even call for. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, she gets up, she goes off, and Garcelle is like, okay, well, being her friend, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, well, hold on, my friend is like having a hard time right now. What's going on? Is she having a panic attack or something like that? Garcelle follows her to the bathroom to figure out what's going on. And so does Kyle. Kyle comes out too, because technically at this point in time, I would wager that Crystal, Kyle, and Garcelle are probably the closest to Sutton, right? Based on social media interactions and how they describe their friendships on the show, right? So Kyle is like, following her out there. But at this point, Kyle believes that Sutton is upset because she didn't get called up to the stage to open up her legs, right? So because she had been so excited about wearing these pantalones, right, and bringing the dollar bills. So, and rightly so. And so Kyle is calling BS on it. But to be honest with you, I felt like Kyle was probably not the best person to go out there because, Kyle, I just always have PTSD from Kyle shaking Sutton around like a rag doll. When Kyle was like, Sutton, 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 Sutton. When she was doing all that last year, when Sutton was arguing with Diana, she who shall not be named, I felt like I still got a little PTSD from that. And Sutton even tells her, girl, I didn't ask you to come out here and check on me. You coming out here being a bitch when I did not send for you. And that is technically true. But my problem with Sutton is if you make a stink and then you leave, clearly you got to know that people are going to come and check on you, right? You know what I'm saying? So while I do agree, yes, I mean, Kyle, I didn't ask you to come out here and check on me because for real, if y'all thought that she wanted attention, I would have just I would have just had to let her sit out there because for real, at the end of the day, we all grown and you was excited at one point in time about this. And Kyle, you just came up off the stage from getting the whipped cream licked up off your tatas and your legs. So for me, I would have been up in there having some more drinks and some more alcohol. You know what I'm saying? I would have been doing that because clearly you was liking them legs, licking them tatas, lifting. I'm not mad at you either. So anyway, I'm kind of on the fence about the two of them because they really get into it. You know what I'm saying? Sutton calling her a B, Kyle called her to be. But everybody's expecting Erica Jane to be upset because y'all know Erica and Sutton, they barely get along, at least in seasons past, right? But at this point, I think that last week, Erica said that I gave up arguing for Lent, so I'm not going to be arguing with none of y'all. So she come out, by the time she was like, I'm not leaving this place because my friends got us up in here, so her and Dorit stay. Garcelle, Sutton, and Kyle and Crystal all outside. By the time Erica come out there, she's sitting up there looking like Judge Judy or whatever like that. And I'm kind of with Erica on this one because I feel like Sutton, I don't understand what the problem is. Basically, Sutton is saying like, this is not good for my brand. You didn't think about that before you went to go see Magic Mike? What did you think that this show was? Maybe you should have done some research before you got there. That's my thing. Because Crystal is like, girl, how does it make you feel that none of us who are married, okay, are concerned about any of this? And I happen to agree. However, I also can agree that if it did make Sutton uncomfortable, I feel like you have your due diligence to do what you need to do for you, but you don't need to make us think about it and be rude to nobody else. Period. Okay. That's all I would have said. For real. So the next day, there's some conversation at dinner about Garcelle's son, and she don't really feel, I guess because she's going to see him the next day, and she still feels kind of weird about this group and her family because Erica had cursed her son out last year, and Dorit and Mauricio and PK and Kyle had all laughed about it the following day. If you guys don't recall, they showed it in the scene again. And so at this point, she goes to bed and she kind of wakes up the next morning over breakfast and she's like, I got to be honest with y'all. I don't feel safe I don't feel like my family is safe with this group, right? I don't feel comfortable talking about my kids with this group because of what happened last year. And Dorit has the nerve, the unmitigated gall to say, well, I apologize. We apologize for that. At what point will you get over it? Now, these are two different scenarios. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fully aware of that before I say it. But Dorit should be a person who understands that you don't always get over something that has happened to you on any specific timeline. Period. I am sure the image of Dorit, PK, Kyle, and Mauricio laughing about this will be hard to leave her mind ever because let's just face it, had it been any of their kids and she had done the same, they never would have let it go. So it was very rich that it was Dorit who was like, well, I mean, at some point, I mean, when do you move past it? I mean, oh, just like PK been wanting you to move past your PTSD. But respectfully, you get over that when you're over it. And furthermore, y'all know that story that Dorit told about taking that $10,000 out the bank and then going Christmas shopping or whatever she was doing, and then the pocketbook was stolen. You know, when she said it in the first episode, I let it go because I was like, oh wow, like how could this happen to you twice? But I want to know for any of y'all out there, and it could just be me, who among us is going to the bank and taking out $10,000? Number one, because my thought is this is the $10,000 like episode today, right? Because my thought on this is $10,000 is usually the threshold for the amount that you can withdraw from a bank before there's some level of tax liability. Am I correct on that? Right? Some sort of there's a little flag that goes off for tax purposes when you are, and I don't know if it's tax purposes, but I don't know. There's something I remember. Had it been $9,999 or $98, I think that it doesn't move any needles. Regardless, I'm just saying that's an odd amount to take out to go and buy Christmas presents, and you want to go buy the presents with all the cash. Why not just use your credit card and get the points? It seemed like to me, as a rich person, you would be wanting to use your American Express Gold so that you can maximize the points on the gold. Okay. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not going to pretend to be. I'm not telling y'all what to do. But what I am telling you is that I do know for a fact that Amex Gold will get you further when it comes to points and spending. Okay. Anyway, if you ain't got that, your capital, not your capital, your Chase card. Okay, how about that? Okay. It just don't make sense to me. But okay, fine. It's odd to me that you would just take out $10,000 to go Christmas shopping or whatever she said she was doing. Like, who would in this day and age would do that with cash? Like, I wouldn't even feel comfortable walking around town with that much cash on me. I wouldn't even feel comfortable going to the grocery store with that much. I don't even feel comfortable walking out the bank with that much cash, to be quite honest with you. So it's just weird. I don't know. Maybe they ain't got no credit cards. Who knows? So anyway, I just wanted to bring y'all that little bit of that was my rating for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let me know if you watched the episode, if you like what you saw, what you thought about it, and I will of course catch you all in the next video.